Family Guy twice a night on the CW11. That's 2 chances every weeknight to laugh along with the funniest family on TV. Don't miss Family Guy weeknights on the CW11. Abraham Nunez leads off the 6th inning and takes ball 1. Nunez popped to second base his first time up. Getting to start at third base tonight. Two and 0 to Nunez. Getting 8th in the order with Jamie Moyer on deck. Glavine allowed back-to-back hits in the second and nothing since. But now he's behind on Nunez 3-0. Glavine has not walked a batter tonight. Very low pitch count, as does Moyer. Moyer's thrown only 57 pitches through 5. But he walks Nunez on 4 pitches. So after Glavine had retired to 10 in a row, all of a sudden a leadoff walk to Abraham Nunez here in the 6th inning.
Well, that's the tough part. You don't want to do that with walking Nunez, hitting 238 this year. You want to take a chance, let him hit the ball somewhere. Now, you know, but Glavine's been great all year. Last start, 86 pitches in 7 innings, so he's been great at you know, economy of his pitches. What do you think, Keith?
I didn't hear a word you said.
Moyer trying to bunt, takes a strike. Oh my. I've always wondered what it felt like.
Oh.
Wright coming all the way in on top of Moyer. Loduca fields the bunt, looks to second, but takes the sure out. 2-4 on the sacrifice, moving Nunez up.
Well, that's a tough bunt here because Wright comes down on him, but Jamie Moyer is able to deaden it just enough. A little peek by Loduca. He knows he doesn't have a chance. Reyes even points over. Plays at first base.
Hey, communication's a good thing. Not enough guys can tell you where to throw the ball and help you out.
So Moyer has his 8th sacrifice of the year. The Phillies have a runner in scoring position for the 2nd time tonight. And here's Rollins, who's 0 for 2. He's been very aggressive tonight. He takes ball 1. Rollins 3 home runs away from a 30-30 season. Leads the league in runs scored with 126. There's a strike, 1-1. The National League East is blessed with 3 extraordinarily talented shortstops. We'll see the 3rd one next weekend when we go to Florida. And Hanley Ramirez. Rollins hits it off the hands. And now Lou over toward the line. That's the 2nd out. Glavine getting good mileage on the inside part of the plate, and there are 2 out. Well, there's the matchup between Rollins and Reyes, and of course Reyes' big advantage in on-base percentage has narrowed somewhat over the last few weeks.
Well, Rollins has been steady all year, and obviously Rollins having more of a power year, but then again, how many home runs would Reyes have if he was playing 81 games in Citizens Bank Park?
Of course, Reyes with the huge advantage in stolen bases.
Still can't take away from Rollins. 79 extra base hits. That's just outstanding.
Here's Chase Utley, and he takes ball 1. And then you factor in the defense, and you certainly have to give Reyes the edge there. Not that Rollins is a slouch.
And the edge and age, of course. So far for this young man to go.
Utley's flying to center field in both of his at-bats tonight. Nunez at 2nd and 2 out. Glavine misses away with a changeup. It's 2-0. Can we take these off now, Ronnie?
I tell you, I don't know how you have a mustache. I think I already have some chafing. I think it's going into my nostrils, the stuff from the mustache. How do you do it?
Oh, well.
You got to be a special person.
You got to be tough.
Well, I carried a beard and a mustache for a long time.
You did?
In my 20s, yeah.
And how far in your 20s?
Most of my 20s.
Why did you get rid of the mustache?
Get a
Don't
job.
answer that.
It didn't look as good as yours.
Look at this guy.
It looked more like that. Like he had a bat on his head. popped up foul backing out of play. So Utley up there swinging 3-0. But it seems to be a community-wide effort here. Everybody's got the Keith stashes going.
Well, that last shot, the girlfriend looked like she liked it.
Don't go there. Don't go
I
there.
Just can't even imagine what to say. 3-1 to Utley. Bounced off his foot. A foul ball, and it's 3-2.
Well, Chase Utley, I think the biggest improvement from Chase from his rookie year is his advancement as far as hitting left-handers. When he first came up, he had enormous difficulty, and now he seemed to have solved the problem.
Utley the tying run at the plate in a 2-0 game. 3-2 from Glavine. Hit in the air to right field. That's deep. Back goes Millage. Back onto the track. Back at the wall. And it's out of here. Chase Utley ties the game with a 2-run homer. His 20th of the year. Tom Glavine had gone 57 innings without giving up a home run. But Utley gets a hold of a 3-2 pitch and ties up the game at 2.
Well, this is a fastball in and missed a little bit. You see LaDuca's glove come a little bit over the middle, and that was the difference. And give credit to Utley there. That was a 3-2 count, and he is so quick.
Well, now here's Pat Burrell, and he takes ball 1.
I think you have to give credit to Utley. You have to give credit to Pat Burrell, who's hitting behind Utley. Looks like Glavine wanted to challenge Utley in that situation and came up a little short as Charlie Manuel is happy. He now has 5 guys in his lineup who have hit 20 home runs or more.
And that has never happened before in Phillies history. So Utley now with 96 runs batted in, and that's with missing a month with that broken hand that he suffered when John Lannon of the Nationals hit him. 2-1 to Burrell. Shaw wasn't agreeing with him. And it's 3-1.
Well, I don't think that Glavine wants anything to do right now with falling behind the count to Pat.
We got Ryan Howard on deck, who's hit 2 deep fly balls in his first 2 at bats. One of them caught right at the fence by Millage. And Burrell draws a walk. Well, Glavine had a couple of near misses. The ball that Howard hit in the 4th inning, the ball Worth hit that Alou may have robbed him of a home run on in the 5th inning. But Utley finally found the range, and now Burrell aboard with 2 out for Ryan Howard.
And that was Pat Burrell's 103rd walk of the season, and only 1 intentional pass all year, so he's earned them.
3rd in the league in walks is Burrell. So now Glavine needs to dig in against Howard. He's already hit 2 deep fly balls. Only to see both of them caught. The overshift is on in the infield, and Howard takes a fastball for a strike.
It's interesting with Howard, isn't it? When he hits the ball to right field, he has incredible top spin on the ball. Just the opposite when he hits the ball to left field. It has that underspin that the ball seems to carry.
Well, he's been pulling a lot this year, and that has been the reason why he hasn't had the season average-wise that he did last year. Obviously, his big MVP season. And he struggled against lefties now in the season when hitting under 230, around 229 against lefties.
58 home runs last year, just 38 this season for Howard. And he grounds one into the shift. Castillo gets over in front of it, and that retires the side. So the shift paid dividends there, but the Phillies get the game even on Chase Utley's 20th home run of the year. First given up in 9 starts by Tom Glavine, and it's good enough for the Phillies to tie the game at 2-2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Luis Castillo leads off the home 6th inning after Chase Utley's home run tied the game. Castillo walked, stole 2nd, stole 3rd, and scored a run in the 4th inning. And he pulls it foul. 1-1 to Castillo. check out our Aflac trivia question for tonight. Moises Alou, 18-game hitting streak. What two players share the Mets' single-season record for longest hitting streaks?
I think I know that.
Up the middle, Utley can't make the backhand play, and Castillo's got an infield hit. A squirrely ground ball found the right spot, and the Mets get the lead run aboard to start the 6th inning. Time to check in with the studio. A baseball night in New York update, and Chris Connor.
All right, guys, let's go to Boston. No score in the second between the Yanks and Red Sox. Jacoby Ellsbury, the RBI single past Robbie Cano. Good Yuntif. Kevin Youkilis scores. Red Sox lead 2-0, bottom of the third.
All right, Chris. These games just seem to take a long time to play, don't they?
They're only in the 3rd inning.
Here's David Wright, who provided the keynote tonight with his 29th home run of the year. And he takes inside 1-0. It was our Coors Light cold blast. 3rd batter up against Moyer.
That was the first pitch that David saw in the ballgame. That's how good he feels at the plate, and that brings him 1 home run shy of the 30-30 club.
99 runs scored, 97 RBIs for Wright. Look at that. He's reached in half of his last 90 plate appearances.
He's having just a terrific finish.
And David hits the double play ball right at Rollins. Utley with the easy turn. 6-4-3, 2 out and nobody on.
Well, let me tell us, the folks out there, one thing on that at bat with David. That is a good swing you put on the ball, and it's a double play, and you think it's a bad at bat? This is not a bad at bat. This is a good swing on a breaking ball. Look at him wait, and just missed it. Just a little bit out in front, but a good swing. You got 8 gloves out there. You can hit the ball hard at people and come up showing nothing for it. But David knows that he's got a good swing on that one.
Well, he's hit 3 balls hard tonight. Has only 1 hit, the home run. But the ball he hit to center field in the 4th inning and that double play ball, both well struck. So 2 out and nobody on for Beltran, who's flied out and walked tonight. And he takes the curveball for a strike.
And once again, Jamie Moyer making like Lefty Grove against the Metsies.
1-1 in his 3 starts against the Mets this year. But at this point, you know, you look at the Phillies rotation, and you got Jamie Moyer, you got Kyle Kendrick, and really they're not getting much out of anybody else. In the air to right, and playable for Worth. And so Moyer, after the leadoff base hit by Castillo, gets through the inning quickly. We go to the 7th, still 2-2. It is dog day here at Shea, and it is a packed house out of the picnic area. And you know, these dogs are so well behaved. If I brought my dogs to this event,
oh, forget it.
They would be having a nervous breakdown.
My dogs would be a beating.
We were thinking of bringing Dunkey here, but it would have been too much overload.
Aaron Rowan takes the strike.
Having a 100-pound dog on sensory overload with Kai having to handle, and that would have been very difficult.
Yeah. Look how well behaved that young dog is. That's just sweet. I brought my 95-pound Weimaraner Riley here. She barks at the slightest provocation when something's 1,000 yards away.
Oh, look at the big guy.
Oh, Dane.
Great Dane.
Did he purchase an extra seat?
Yeah.
0-2 to Rowan. Change up hit. Back past the bat. Glavine let it go for Reyes. Good decision. 1 away.
Well, beautiful use of the count. 0-2 count. Throws something just 3, 4, 5 inches outside. Close enough. So Rowan had to go for it. Can't let it pass, especially with the home plate. Strikes on the home plate umpire Paul Emmel. Produces an out for Tom Glavine.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Jason Worth, who had an infield hit, and then that fly ball to the left field fence that Moises Alou made a jumping catch on. And we looked at the last replay. It looked like it probably was going to be a home run.
Yeah, I think it would at least hit the top of the fence, or maybe one of those scrapers just over the fence.
Worth has not been hitting a lot of home runs, but he has been hitting for a high average and driving in a ton of runs.
Which I don't know. He's a young player, but he has taken so many fastballs, and that was a changeup he almost hit for a home run, which makes me feel like maybe he's sitting on changeup in tonight's game.
Rolls over that one to third, and David Wright makes the running throw. 2 down. I want to pass along our belated congratulations to our technical director Jason Lobb and his wife Christine, the proud parents of not one but 2 youngsters, James and Mia, who were born last week. It is a double blessing.
2 for the price of 1. Double your pleasure, double your fun.
So to Jason, and more importantly to Christine, who did all the work.
Yes.
Our heartiest congratulations.
Yes.
As a call strike to Carlos Ruiz, 0-1. Second set of twins we've had around here this year.
Yes.
Wow.
Richie, our audio guy, has his 2 for the price of 1 at home. And every once in a while Richie sleeps.
Does that mean you have to hire 2 nannies?
No nannies for Richie. You're an instigator, by the way.
You just look for trouble wherever you go, don't you? 2-1 to Ruiz, who's grounded out both of his at bats, once into a double play, and it's 3-1. Next, you're going to be talking about your perambulator.
Oh boy, what a game.
Foul back. By the way, do you notice Mr. Met donned the mustache tonight?
I missed it.
He doesn't want to
got
go
it on. I see him.
He doesn't want to go incognito because today's a big day for Mr. Met.
There he is.
Mr. Met,
Let's see.
inducted into the Mascot Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
Grounded down to right. He gives ground. Ruiz getting down the line. Wright throws him out by a stride. Side retired. 3 up, 3 ground ball outs against Glavine. David Wright up to the task on this one. 7th inning stretch time at Shea. Mets and Phillies all tied up. Brooks set the record. Mike Piazza tied it. But if you're a real fan, then you know whose record Hubie Brooks broke.
Oh, that's right. We should know, Ronnie, 84. I tell you something. We traded Hubie for Gary Carter, and that was the last piece of the puzzle. But we wouldn't have won without Gary behind the plate, but we missed Hubie. We loved Hubie so much.
Oh, it would have been great if he hadn't to be the chum or the bait to get Carter, because he not only was he a great player, never seen many players hit the ball harder than Hubie did, but just a great teammate, just great in that clubhouse, and you know, he did a lot of great things that led up to some of those great teams in 84, 85, 86.
Mets got Hubie back toward the end of his career for a second tour of duty. Moises Salute takes inside. So do you know?
No, not Crankle. Mike Vail.
Very good. Nice call.
Wow.
Mike Vail, my first minor league roommate.
He hit 23 straight games right after he was called up. Did it as a rookie. Now Lou has driven in one of the 2 runs for the Mets tonight. Also made a terrific catch in left field, and he takes the curve outside from Moyer, and now it's 2-0 to Alou, who tonight extended his hitting streak to 18 straight games. Well, there's Antonio Alfonseca, who today was suspended by Major League Baseball for 4 games for hitting Todd Helton the other night, but he's appealing that, so he is eligible tonight. And Moyer misses inside with the fastball to fall behind 3-0.
Alfonseca, of course, responding to the hit batter of Jason Worth earlier in the game, came in and threw one right at the coconut of Todd Helton.
Get him on the arm. So he'll appeal that 4-game suspension. 3-0 to Alou, and he takes a strike.
3-0 changeup.
You know, Gary, games like this, you're playing them in the field. It's almost 2 good pitchers out there, great stuff. Late in the game, it's like, which pitcher is going to blink first?
Yeah.
Moyer's only thrown 70 pitches tonight, and Alou bounces one foul. Jeff Conine on deck, and then Paul LaDuca, right-hand hitters all against Moyer. Bob Glavine had a 2-0 lead, but Chase Utley's 2-run homer tied the game. And now Moyer, knowing that the bullpen has sometimes been leaky for the Phillies this year, trying to go as long as he can. Of course, the Philly bullpen has pitched better against the Mets than they have against anybody else.
And they were great yesterday's ball game where J.D. Durbin only went 1 inning. They had 8 innings of relief with only giving up 1 run as Alfonseca and J.C. Romero up in the bullpen.
Romero's done a great job for them. Released by the Red Sox, for whom he didn't do very good work, but he's been much better as a Philly. 3-2 to Alou, leading off the home 7th. Hits it off the end of the bat, down to Ryan Howard. Grabs the spinner, flips it to Moyer, 1 away. So 1 out and nobody on. The street games continue on SNY as the arm wrestlers lock their wrists on the tables, and the games also hit the water. So grab your paddles for Crew Street Games, presented by Pontiac, Thursday at 10 p.m. only on SNY. Crew you could only play in the streets in Venice.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe San Antonio.
That's unfortunate. Here's Conine, who has struck out and grounded into a double play, and he takes ball 1. Conine got his old number back tonight. So far, it has not been a lucky number for him. Hits this one to shallow left center. He broke his bat. Out goes Rollins over the shoulder, and he grabs it. Nobody else was going to get there. It was all on Rollins, and he went a long way to catch that pop-up coming down over his shoulder.
Well, both Burrell and Rowan playing very deep late in the tie ball game here, and watch Rollins right here. Look at how far he's got to run. That's a long way to go and get a ball. That's a great play. Touchdown.
That's like taking off after a Ray Guy punt right there as he hit one over your head.
Ray Guy.
Well, Jimmy Rollins grew up watching the Oakland Raiders. Growing up in Alameda, California.
I was right across the bay watching the Raiders myself.
2 out and nobody on. Here's Paul LaDuca. LaDuca's 0 for 2. Line to right, grounded to short. And he takes the curveball for a strike. Kudos to Jamie Moyer. He's pitched a terrific game tonight. Greeted by the David Wright home run in the first. A couple of walks hurt him in the 4th. Right through the wickets. Utley on the backhand. Jumping throw, and he got him. Outstanding play by Chase Utley on a ball hit back between the pitcher's legs. Utley made the play nonetheless. The pretty backhand. An all-new Mets Weekly looks at the impact Luis Castillo has made on the team and how his presence has helped the bench. A new episode of Mets Weekly at a special time, Saturday at 11:30 a.m. only on SNY. And Abraham Nunez dumps one in along the right field line, and he's got himself a leadoff hit in the 8th inning. So Nunez, who might have had the off walk, this time it's a little parachute down the right field line that falls for a hit.
Well, Nunez could have had 2 here. He's not running, see? This ball's plainly going to stay fair. I don't know what he's looking at. I think if he's running, he's got a shot to get 2 here. What's he waiting on? Get on your horse.
So Nunez aboard, and Jamie Moyer will stay into bunt, which he did successfully in the 6th inning. Moyer's thrown only 75 pitches through 7 innings. So you have to figure that even had Nunez not reached, they probably would have left Moyer in anyway.
Well, for all you hard throwers that are trying to break the speed gun in the minor leagues, here you got 85 years of experience between Moyer and Glavine, and they're both out there for the 8th inning.
How about that? Look at David Wright there playing aggressively in at 3rd, putting a lot of pressure on Moyer. Creeping in. Nicely done. Pressure applied.
Keith, do you remember? Of course you do remember. You used to come to the mound in this situation and say, hey, listen, give me 2 throws over, and then the 3rd one go to the plate because I'm going to bust.
Right. We had the timing play.
Yeah.
And we'd always give a sequence of 3 pitches.
Wright comes creeping in. Moyer pops it up, but beyond anybody's reach. Back on the screen. But now it's 0-2 to Moyer.
Should we explain that to the fans?
Yeah, why don't you explain it?
Well, the reason why I got such great jumps on bunts was when I came over from St. Louis, we worked on it and we had it, and I came over to the Mets and we had timing plays with the pitchers on bunts, on obvious bunt situations like Moyer right now.
And Moyer bunts it in the air. Diving catch by Wright. Can he double him up? He can! Brilliant play by David Wright for the double play. And it all starts with playing in so tight to the bunter.
Well, there's no question here. And David busting, and you're absolutely right, playing that tight. He's able to make that kind of play, and that's just good hustle. You can slough it, play in and not really charge. And David playing it 100%. And that's the kind of plays you're going to see. And Nunez got caught in between.
Well, can we see a picture of that again? Because if you watch LaDuca gives the fake like he's going to play it on the bounce, and that definitely had an influence on Ruiz whether to go back or not.
0-1 to Rollins, who takes low and away, 1-1.
Watch LaDuca here. He'll give a fake like he's going to catch it on the ground. It comes right out of nowhere. Ruiz, toast.
Great play by David. That's just great play because of great hustle.
Glavine keeps it away from Rollins, 2-1.
It's a fine ball game. It's good old country hardball here.
Well, David Wright has been so aggressive on bunt plays all year. And it really paid off for the Mets there. 2-2 to Rollins.
Well, Keith, remember that last game against Philadelphia where the Mets lost 11-10. I think both you and I talked to David right after the game and said it was one of the finest efforts we've seen in a big game. Well, he is coming up big in all the big games now.
It certainly is.
2-2 to Rollins. Hits slowly. Wright has to charge, but it goes foul. Good thing, because there's no way he would have thrown out Rollins if that's a fair ball.
Well, David's got a little lightness in his feet, and this weather has changed now. The humidity's gone. The cooler nights. It's like coming out of spring training in April when it's chilly and it just gives you a second wind.
Don't forget the haircut. 2-2 to Rollins. Chopped foul. Well, in every big spot in games between the Mets and Phillies this year, Jimmy Rollins has been standing in the Mets' way.
Yes.
He hit that huge home run here at Shea back in June against Aaron Howman that seemed to give the Phillies life. And he has backed up his preseason statement all year. Hit toward the gap in left center field. That's a base hit for Rollins. Beltran gets over to cut it off, and Rollins, after a wide turn, will hold it first.
Well, David Wright's play right now is Davey Lopes, the first base coach, the former Dodger. Well, Wright's play, nice hitting on a changeup, up and away, belt high. That's a go-ahead base hit right there. If Wright does not make that play.
And that's going to be all for Tom Glavine. Willie Randolph on his way out to the mound. Pedro Feliciano will be brought on to face Chase Utley, who took Glavine deep in his last at bat.
That's a tough no decision.
He hopes.
Well-deserved cheers. Another fine effort by Glavine. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Verizon. Switch to Verizon Fios. TV, internet, phone. It's the most advanced. Tom Glavine done after 7 2/3 innings, and hoping that Pedro Feliciano can get the big left-hand hitter out.
Well, he's got to watch Rollins, too, at first base, the potential stolen base.
And Utley takes a slider for a strike. Utley just 3 for 15 against Feliciano, but one of those 3 was a home run against Feliciano earlier this season.
Left center field.
You got Rollins, a base stealer at first. Tie game, 8th inning. And Feliciano checks in on Rollins, who's stolen 32 this year.
Well, Feliciano, the left-hander holding the runner on Rollins at first, has a decent move, but not a great move. The thing that saves him is usually pretty quick to the plate.
And Utley wails at the slider. 2 good ones in a row by Feliciano, and it's 0-2.
Well, this had nice downward movement. That plane, see, that goes down and underneath the bat of Utley. Also, he took a little off that slider.
Feliciano came in Wednesday night to try and get Brian McCann out, but wound up walking him. Here attacking Utley with breaking balls. Rollins runs. LaDuca's throw is not a good one, and Rollins has the stolen base, his 33rd of the year. So now the go-ahead run is in scoring position.
Well, it's a great time to steal 0-2, because what happens to a lot of pitchers is they concentrate so hard on that 0-2 pitch that they forget about the runner at first base, and I think that's what's happened there.
Now a base hit puts the Phils ahead, and Feliciano's here to get this left-handed out. You can forget the open base. This is what the game's all about right here. These matchups late in the ball game.
Feliciano ahead 1-2. Hit down the left field line, slicing foul. Now this tied up the ball game in the 6th inning. Mets were up 2-0. And then along came Utley.
Oh, one of the few mistakes that Tom made tonight, and made it to one of the best hitters in the game.
Utley leading the National League in batting. Breaking ball hit to short. Reyes ignores Rollins, throws out Utley, side retired. Feliciano gets the job done. Reyes makes the play with the impediment in front of him, and Utley is retired. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Mets and Phillies still tied at 2. Well, the Phillies come into this series knowing that they have to sweep to have any chance of staying in the National League East race. Of course, they're just a game and a half back in the wild card. Tomorrow on the CW11, Pedro Martinez makes his 3rd start, coming back from rotator cuff surgery against Kyle Loesch, who's been pitching pretty well of late for the Phillies. And then Sunday here on SNY, Oliver Perez, who pitched a gem in his last outing against Adam Eaton. All of that brought to you by Mazda. David Wright's had a huge hand in this game with a home run and an outstanding defensive play that might have helped save the Mets in that top of the 8th inning.
Well, J.C. Romero has been fantastic since joining the Phillies from the Red Sox with a 1.73 ERA. But he played a big part in that 4-game series in Philadelphia, getting some key outs. And left-handers only hitting 121 against him, although he is facing Mr. Millage to lead off this inning.
But why is Jamie Moyer not in the game? Moyer threw 76 pitches, and he took the turn at bat in the top of the 8th to bunt, and now he's not in there. Millage has hit 2 balls very hard tonight. Inside it hit him, and the Mets have the lead man on. Well, Millage often seems to have a magnet attached to him. This one could work well for the Mets. It's the last thing in the world Charlie Manuel wanted to see. Now Carlos Gomez is coming up as a pinch hitter.
Oh, wants to come inside.
Well, that's just clueless. I mean, to be that far away from where you're trying to throw the pitch on the first pitch of coming in as a reliever is just unacceptable in my books. I mean, you just can't start an inning like that. Moyer's out of the game. I don't know whether he hurt something running on the bases at first, but it's either got to be injury or a manager's decision. And if Charlie Manuel made that decision, to me, it's wrong.
So here is Gomez to pinch hit, and you expect a bunt in this situation, and he's just been down for a face-to-face chat with Sandy Alomar just to make sure he knows the signs. Millage at first and nobody out. 2-2 bottom of the 8th. And Gomez fouls it off.
Tell me this isn't what happened on the bench, Keith. When a guy has been schooling you all game long as Tom Gordon gets ready, he's been schooling you all game long, and they take him out. Don't you have a sense of relief and go, boy, thank God he's out of the game. Get someone new in there.
George Hendrick used to sit on the bench in St. Louis, one of my great teammates, George, and say, hey, all you guys, don't be afraid to knock this guy out.
They're shortened up all around the infield with Gomez having bunted the first pitch foul. And Romero trying to find out. Gomez didn't give it away.
Well, Gomez likes to show off his great speed. And right here, he's just got to put the bunt down.
So many guys who bunt for hits don't necessarily know how to sacrifice. He lays this one down foul. And now Gomez is in a 2-strike hole.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Willie Randolph does here if he takes the bunt off with 2 strikes.
Well, I think with Gomez's speed, the double play threat isn't there. So you got to let him swing.
The things, though, that happen late in the season are some of the reasons you do or do not make a playoff roster. And these are the little things. If Carlos Gomez makes the team, it'll be to pinch run. It'll be to come up and bunt. It'll be to go out in the outfield and play some great D.
That's an excellent point. So Nunez back on the cutout at third, figuring the bunt will not be on here. And Gomez steps out and takes another long look down at Sandy Alomar. And Willie's hoping that he knows the signs.
Look of apprehension.
Oh, 2 to Gomez. And he bunts it. Fair ball. Play at second. Millage is out. Gomez didn't get the ball far enough away from Ruiz, who made a perfect throw for a 2-6 force on Millage for the first out.
Well, nice play by Ruiz here. The play's in front of him and very aggressive. You always like to see your infielders play, all your defensive players play it aggressively. He knows it's right in front. He didn't even hesitate. And that's what the speedy Millage. Nice play.
So now here's the other part of Gomez's potential role in the postseason. He's on first base.
And he's a potential stolen base threat.
But you got a lefty on the mound, and now the question is, do you put him on his own? Do you give him a specific spot to try and run in? Or do you wait for Reyes to do the damage with his bat?
Stole 9 bases in 11 attempts, only thrown out twice. I would have to have a hold on here.
I would too. I'll put a hold on the young player.
Reyes 0 for 3 tonight. There goes Gomez. Ruiz with the throw into the runner, and not in time. It goes into center field, but Gomez did not pick it up in time. And so he'll have to hold it second. And remember the pop-up slide by Castillo earlier as opposed to that head-first slide? Pop-up slide is on third base.
Oh, it's a good pitch to throw. Tough chance for Rollins. He doesn't see the ball because he's head-first sliding. And I've never liked the head-first slide, but what are you going to do?
But wow, what a great steal of second base, though. Great jump off Romero.
So Willie letting them loose and playing very aggressive here. You got the speed, use it. Why not?
It's third stolen base of the night, 187 for the year. And now the Mets are a base hit away from regaining the lead. Reyes 0 for 3 tonight. And he takes a strike from Romero.
Well, the Mets have already, we talked about the ways the Mets can beat you, the different ways. The Mets have already manufactured a run today through the stolen base. Castillo back in the fourth, stealing second and third. And now another opportunity here with the go-ahead run on second base by the stolen base again.
Gomez can score on just about any base hit to the outfield. 1-1 to Reyes. In tight with the fastball, 2-1.
Well, I do have to say, I said probably put a hold on the young man as we see Billy Wagner getting ready, but good to see. Has confidence enough to let the young man steal a base, and boy, he did.
Reyes fouls it off. Reyes got off to a great start this year with runners in scoring position. It's been a lot tougher lately. But he's hitting about 55 points higher from the right side this year than he is from the left side.
He has more of a natural swing from the right side of the plate. And I think he's got more pop from the right side.
2-2 to Jose. Little number past the mound. Utley coming in. The throw will not be made. Gomez holds at third, and the Mets have runners at the corner. Infield hit for Reyes. And good base running by Gomez not to get hung out around third base.
Well, Willie flashing signs quickly. And if it was a right-hand pitcher, Ronnie, they make the play.
Yes.
So Jose right there.
Good job by Alomar. You see the third base. Sandy Alomar held him at third base, screaming at him to stay close to the bag.
Well, Utley's first thought when he fielded that ball was that Gomez might take too wide a turn, but he didn't.
Well, they're going to have a little conference out there in the mound, the Phils. There's so many options that Willie has right now. Runners on first and third, one out.
Especially with Reyes at first, every chance they'll try and steal second. And with Gomez at third, they can't afford to throw through, can they?
And Castillo, who can bunt. A squeeze is a very real possibility.
I personally would throw through, with the play being the shortstop comes and greets the ball and try to get a young runner on third base to maybe see that the ball has gone through and try to come home.
But if he gets a good enough jump with his speed, can't he still beat that play?
Well,
Gomez.
Oh, Gomez, yeah, absolutely he can. But I don't know. I think you just have to come into 2 or 3 more steps. Rollins does.
You've got a first baseman that has to hold the runner on first. A left-hand pitcher following through to the third base side of the infield. A squeeze play, a bunt down the first base line. Gomez can walk home.
Well, he doesn't usually squeeze. And Castillo takes a strike.
No, the other play, Gary, that you can do is just straight Ruiz with that good arm, straight to third base. Try to pick off Gomez at third.
Well, we've seen who did it recently. The ball fired back to the mound and catching the runner off third that way.
Yeah, I forgot who that was.
Castillo 1 for 2. He's stolen 2 bases today. He scored a run. Lashes it foul, and now Romero ahead 0-2.
Well, that takes away any of the squeeze, and not just saying, this is one of the options that Willie had. He opted not to squeeze, and Gary, you called it. Willie does not like to squeeze, but now that's off the table.
Well, the runner's got to be alive now. Romero has that good curveball that he likes to bounce when he's ahead in the count.
Remember, you got David Wright standing on deck. Mets 2, Phillies 2, bottom of the 8th. Tremendous speed at both corners. And Castillo goes down swinging. So Castillo, who's tough to fan, strikes out for the second out.
Well, there's that breaking ball down and in. Just trying to get a piece of it. Castillo unable to.
Well, Romero does his job. Now Charlie Manuel's going to go to the right-hander with David Wright coming up. Now facing Flash Gordon.
Well, career strikeouts among relief pitchers, active relief pitchers. 6th is Tom Gordon with 878 in his fine career. Began his career as a starter, but now has 6 1/3 scoreless innings currently against the Mets.
Doesn't pitch that well against everybody else, but he pitched fine against the Mets. And Well, here's David Wright in another one of those MVP creating situations. First and third and 2 down. 2-2 game in the bottom of the 8th. David hit a home run back in the first inning, his 29th of the year. And Gordon hit him. J.C. Romero's first pitch out of the bullpen hit Millage. Gordon's first pitch out of the bullpen hits Wright. And the bases are loaded for Carlos Beltran.
Well, not the intention. This is a tight part of the ballgame. You want a fastball in, and you're going to miss. You're going to miss in, Ron. You're not going to make a mistake over the middle. I wouldn't be horribly upset over this, Charlie. Rolaids for Charles.
So here's Beltran, who's 0 for 2 and a walk. Bases loaded, 2 out. And the breaking ball stays high. That's what Gordon's got to throw against Beltran. Gomez the lead run at third, Reyes at second, and Wright at first. Good speed all the way around. And Beltran fouls it off.
Well, there's that breaking ball that gives Carlos so much trouble from the left side of the plate. There's his numbers from the 7th inning on. That good 12-6 hard, sharp breaking ball down gives Carlos trouble.
Well, left fielder Burrow is usually out of the game by this time. Still in left field, very deep.
Beltran 1 for 8 in his career against Gordon. That one was a home run. The Mets have not hit a grand slam this entire season.
It's only a game.
Not to her.
Foul back.
Oh, he had a pitch to hit. Woo.
Well, this is El Hangaroony right here. Carlos had a great cut at it.
Well, he's thrown him 3 straight breaking balls. Does he throw him another here?
Yeah, but if he does, he's got to throw it in the third. If he throws it in the third, Gomez has got to be ready at third.
Gomez has a pretty wide lead coming down the line. Beltran hits it foul. So he came with the fastball on 1 and 2, the first he's seen.
Well, up in the strike zone, I got to believe, Ronnie, like you said. He's got to come with that hard breaking ball in the dirt.
Well, that was a setup pitch, but it got away from him. He's trying to throw that up and in. Got away from him as a producer bled back over the plate. Now that should set up the breaking ball.
A rough year for Gordon. Spent about half the season on the disabled list. 1 and 2 to Beltran. Checks his swing on the high fastball, and he held it in time. Ron Culper with the call. It's 2 and 2.
Well, another up the ladder here and muck higher. Now is the time in the curve in the dirt.
Beltran swings and misses, and Gordon strikes out Beltran with the bases loaded to keep the Mets off the board. The Mets load him, but leave him fall. We go to the 9th, tied at 2. The Mr. Met Dash, presented by Nestle Drumstick. Weather permitting, kids can run the bases at Shea Sunday following the game. Go to Mets.com now for your tickets. Billy Wagner on to pitch the 9th inning. Billy's given up 5 home runs this year, 2 of them to the guys about to face.
He's only given up 18 runs all year, but 4 to the Philadelphia Phillies.
Here's his old nemesis, Pat Burrell, and he takes ball 1 from Wagner, who blew a save in his last outing in Philadelphia in that 11-10 game, thanks in part to Burrell's home run, but has kicked it in gear ever since, as has this entire Met team. And Burrell takes the slider low, 2-0.
That home run, if you remember from Met fans, was in the 8th inning. Billy was called on to get 6 outs, the 8th and 9th inning, and that key home run by Burrell got them 1 run closer, and they closed it out in the 9th inning.
2-0 to Burrell, and it's taken for a strike at the knees. Well, remember, the first home run Burrell hit was another game here at Shea in June that Billy was brought in the 8th inning. Got through the 8th, and then Burrell homered leading off the 9th to tie up that game. And that was Billy's first blown save of the year. And a slider in for a strike, and he gets even on Burrell, 2-2.
Interesting slider from Wagner. Very small, not that big sweeping kind of slider that he usually throws.
Burrell's 0 for 2 and a walk tonight. And the slider in there for a call, third strike. Burrow down, looking one away.
Well, let me tell you, this slider is perfect. Late breaking, completely fooling Burrow. That's if he drew it up on the blackboard. That's how Wagner would want to throw his slider.
A little borderline knees, but too close to take with 2 strikes.
So now here's Ryan Howard, and Wagner hasn't had much luck against him either. Howard is 3 for 6 against Billy. That's put on the overshift against Howard. It worked out the last time as he hit one to Castillo, who was playing back in the outfield. Castillo not quite as deep this time. Howard is 0 for 3. It's a foul off the left side.
I think the trouble spot for Billy with Howard would be anything up and out over the plate. I think if he can jam him with that fastball, he's in good shape. I think if he can throw that slider down and away, he's in good shape. But any fastball up, out over the plate, Howard has so much power to left field.
Oh, good cut, good fastball. That was power against power, mano a mano.
So LaDuca wanted that ball in. That ball came a little bit over the plate. No stride by Howard.
Now Howard in a 2-strike hole. Breaking ball. Did he go? He went around, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Wagner of Burrow and Howard. 2 men down.
Good slider here. This is a foul tip by Howard into the glove of LaDuca. Just catches a little bit of it. LaDuca with the play. Never had the call if he went around again on that because of the foul tip.
Well, that whole strikeout Gary set up with the 2 fastballs, and you didn't have to throw him a strike there. See if the fish go biting. 0-2.
So 2 out and nobody on, and now Aaron Rowand, who has doubled in 3 trips tonight. And he swings over the slider, 0-1. Bill's got a good slider tonight.
What a year Rowan's had. That double in the second inning was his 41st on the year.
He's in the top 6 of the league in 2 base hits. 2 for 6 in his career against Wagner. Billy has struck out the first 2 Phillies, trying to keep this game tied in the 9th. Slider swung and missed.
Well, in a game that featured no Phillies going down on strikeouts until this inning, Billy Wagner saying, "I'll show you how to strike him out."
Just inside with the fastball, 96 miles an hour, 1-2. Inside corner, strike 3 called. Wagner strikes out the side at the top of the 9th. Moises Alou will lead off the last of the 9th, a 2-2 game at Shea. Last of the 9th, Mets 2, Phillies 2. Moises Alou will lead off against Tom Gordon. Alou drove in the Mets' second run back in the 4th inning. And he hits a grounder to short. Rollins fields, 1 pitch, 1 out. Here's your Toyota out-of-town scoreboard. The only team that matters to the Mets is right here, but the Braves are in Washington, tied 3-3 in the 6th. The Brewers trail. Remember, the Brewers are a half game behind the Cubs, who are in a pitcher's duel in St. Louis. Carlos Zambrano and Adam Wainwright. The Cardinals trying to snap a 7-game losing streak. The Padres up by 1.5 games in the wild card over both the Phillies and the Dodgers. They will be hosting the Giants tonight with Chris Young on the mound. Here's Conine, who's 0 for 3. And Jeff takes a strike.
I believe that was number 45 for Mr. Fielder. As he's having, what a year he's having.
Making his bid for MVP.
He just swings for the downs almost every swing.
Conine hits it foul. Gordon ahead 0-2. Gordon came on in the 8th, hit David Wright with his first pitch, but then struck out Beltran with the bases loaded. Now we're in the bottom of the 9th, tied at 2. And Conine takes high. Jeff Conine, first game back with his old number 19. He acquired it in a trade today with Sandy Alomar Jr. So far it's been unlucky. He's gone 0 for 3. In there for the 3rd strike, and Conine down looking for the 2nd time tonight.
Wow, that's a very large strike zone from Paul Emmel, but he's been consistent the entire game, Ron.
Yeah, he has. He's been calling that pitch 3-4 inches outside and the ball up too. I think that's the problem, both outside and up to the hitters anyway.
Go back to that Reyes at bat in the 3rd inning where he thought 3 straight pitches were out of the strike zone, all called strikes. So here's Loduca, who is 0 for 3. Chase Utley made a nice backhand play and threw him out his last time up. Loduca started the night with a 7-game hitting streak. And he lays off, and the slider misses.
That was a great breaking ball right there. And it missed. I thought it was a strike. Go ahead, Gary. I'm sorry.
Aaron Heilman getting ready to pitch if there's a 10th inning. Loduca lately has been looking for balls he can turn on. Not strictly a home run hitter by any means. He's got 8 on the year. One. Breaking ball, foul back. So Gordon gets ahead of Loduca with the curveball. The Mets have played 12 extra inning games this year. 6 of them have been in games Glavine started. Could be a 7th tonight.
Well, the Phillies have a lot of fight in them, that's for sure.
In there for a call, strike 3, and Loduca is hot. He thought for sure that pitch was low, and he better watch out. He's just been run out of the game. Loduca is thrown out, so we're going to extra innings, and the Mets will go there without their #1 catcher, who now has to avoid anything further that might cause a suspension.
You got to get one of the coaches on Loduca because you do not want him to lose any games.
Ricky Henderson's jogging over there now.
There you go. Come on, Rico.
Loduca better put that bat down too. So Loduca is called out and then thrown out. And we're heading for extra innings at Shea. Paul Emmel's had a big strike zone all night. High, low, wherever. Back-to-back strikeouts for Gordon, and we're heading for the 10th at Shea. Mike DeFelice coming in from the bullpen where he had been warming up pitchers. Now he'll be catching Aaron Heilman in the 10th inning, with Paul Loduca having been ejected for arguing a call 3rd strike.
Well, Aaron Heilman in the game, and he's been pitching a lot of the big 8 innings in the 8th inning for the Mets, but not today as he gets some extra inning work. Heilman's been throwing the ball awfully well. His last game, he got a couple of earnings, though, late after he was out of the game. That's why that ERA has gone up to 3.28.
Sean Green has also come in the game to play first base. Jeff Conine coming out. So Green, I would assume, will bat in the 9 spot, since that spot is due up 2nd when the Mets come to bat in the bottom of the 10th.
It's got to be a flip-flop here.
Yep.
Heilman in Conine spot.
Yeah, that way you can get Heilman, you know, to pitch a couple of innings if you need.
DeFelice will hit in the 6th hole, and Heilman in the 7th spot. Green goes in the 9th spot. So Jason Worth leads off the 10th inning. Tied 2-2. Worth is 1 for 3. And Heilman starts him off with a fastball for a strike. Heilman, the 4th Met pitcher of the night. Billy Wagner struck out the side in the 9th. Taken low by Worth, 1-1. And Heilman's fastball not exactly popping on those first 2 pitches. Normally see him around 93, 94. Those first 2 were at 90. That one had enough to get by Worth, and it's 1-2.
You know, to me, Gary, it seems to me the last 4 or 5 times out, he's going with that 2-seamer and kind of running that sinker down and in on the righties, which will take away from that 4-seam, apologize, 4-seam fastball where he can throw 94, 95. So sacrificing speed for a little more movement, I think that's a good thing.
Now he's ahead on Worth. 1-2 has set him up for the changeup. And he comes with it, and Worth hits it right through the hole. You were talking about it earlier, Ronnie, that he's been looking changeup all night, and he got one there. And Worth is aboard to lead off the top of the 10th.
I think Worth is just a good breaking ball hitter. And he got a little fortunate here. I mean, really, it's just a ground ball that's just well placed. Tough luck for Heilmann.
So the Phillies have the leadoff man on. Let's see if the Phillies bunt with Ruiz, who's 0 for 3 tonight. You got the 8-hitter Nunez on deck, and then a fully stocked bench behind him. Got to keep an eye on Worth. He'll steal a base now and again. Ruiz pops up the bunt. DeFelice coming back, and he can't get it. Didn't get a good look at it, and it handcuffed him at the last moment, and DeFelice will be charged with an error for prolonging the time at bat.
Well, I think that DeFelice didn't think it was as high as it was, and he rushed back to cover the ground and overran it.
And that ball always, when it's popped up, will come back towards the plate at the very end, and that's what it did to Mike DeFelice.
So DeFelice just in the game after LaDuca was ejected and charged with an error to keep Ruiz in there. Up and in, and it's 1-1.
And Ruiz cannot stab at this ball. He's got the ball come to the bat. Last time he stabbed at it. That's why he popped it up. He's probably not used to bunting.
Worth at first and nobody out. Tied at 2 in the 10th. And Ruiz bunts that one back to the mound. Heilmann's got to play at second, but he throws it into center field. Worth will stay put, and the Phillies have 2 men on.
Well, I got to say here, this is not a bad throw. I think Jose should have made this play. Let's take a peek. You're going to get clocked. There's no question the ball runs away from him. It's a little bit of a harsh judgment on my part. Tough play.
I think the bad play was that at some point someone's got to be yelling to Heilmann, even though it was bunted back to him. Worth got a nice jump, and that play should have been to first base. That was too close to try to make that play.
So the Mets have made 2 errors here in this inning.
So they scored a sacrifice error on Heilmann, allowing Ruiz to reach, and now Nunez up there to bunt. And he bunts it foul.
You just got to get this down now. You got to get this bunt down. If you're the Phillies, you put the Mets right between the crosshairs.
And what you have to do if you're Aaron Heilmann is that you need to make this play, or give yourself a chance to make this play. He throws that sidearm fastball, so it takes his body towards the third base line anyways. Throw it and bust toward that third base line. Try to make yourself a play at third base.
Mets don't often use the wheel play. In fact, they don't use it at all. And so the bunt to right will advance the runners. Sacrifice executed, 5-4.
Well, that's just a beauty right there. And you can see right here, he didn't even move the bat. That's sweet, Ronnie.
And he didn't stab like Ruiz. He caught the ball with the bat. That's how you bunt.
But again, in those obvious bunting situations, if you can run the wheel play, you can get him out at third base on that kind of a bunt.
Yeah, because Aaron's not, Aaron's a big guy as a pitcher, so he's not going to cover a lot of ground. But maybe coming out of that American League school, which I played in after the Mets, they don't care about the wheels. They want to make an out. And that's how the Mets usually play it.
So the Mets now forced to bring the infield in with second and third and 1 out, and Greg Dobbs up to pinch hit for Tom Gordon. Dobbs hitting at .281. They've taken the error away from Heilmann on that throw to second base. They're calling it a sacrifice and a fielder's choice.
You can't assume?
I guess they're saying that it was going to be that close a play. So the Mets are down to 1 error in the inning. The one by DeFelice. So here's Dobbs, and he takes a strike. And that fastball got up to 93.
You saw Dobbs in Philadelphia. If you try to pitch him away, he's been pretty good at slashing that ball to left field.
The infield is in. And Dobbs takes it high.
And that's that borderline high strike, Ronnie, that home plate umpire Paul Emmel has been calling all night. He wants it in and it bleeds out.
He's not calling it on that side of the plate, though, only on the outside part to the right-hander. And as the Phillies with J.C. Romero got that big strikeout to Castillo with 1 out with a chance for a sac fly, Heilman needs a strikeout or a pop-up here.
1-1 to Dobbs. And he drives it to deep center field. Beltran going back. He makes the catch, tagging at third, and coming in with the lead run is Worth. It's a sacrifice fly for Greg Dobbs, and the Phillies go in front for the first time tonight, 3-2 in the 10th.
Well, the Phillies come into this game, what, 6.5 out, 7 back in the loss column. And they've shown lots of fight coming from behind here. Take the lead late.
Only 1 hit in the inning, but they make it work.
Well, didn't have the ability to get that fastball inside on Dobbs. That's where they needed it. More over the middle there. A nice hitting by Greg Dobbs. And the Phillies are in a position now that their bench is acting like that because they are in a position they have to win every night.
Well, they're also right in the midst of that wild card race. They're only a game and a half behind San Diego. So even if they don't catch the Mets, they are very much alive as far as the postseason. Rollins fouls it back.
Yeah, I wasn't even talking about like even against the Mets. They just are in a position, whether it's the Mets or the wild card, where they have to win every single night because of all those people involved in that wild card. Someone's going to get hot out of that bunch.
Well, DeFelice is calling inside a lot, and every fastball Heilman's tried to throw into left-hand hitters has bled out over the middle.
He's ahead on Rollins 0-2 with Ruiz at 3rd and 2 down. And Rollins holds the swing on the changeup, 1-2. A single by Worth. Ruiz popped up a bunt that DeFelice dropped, and then he got down a bunt that Heilman threw to second base, not on target. A sacrifice by Nunez moved the runners, and a sacrifice fly by Dobbs got a run in. 1-2 to Rollins. Out to second base where Castillo fields, and that ends the inning. But the Phillies scratch out a run in the top of the 10th. Now the Mets come up on the bottom of the 10th with 8, 9, and 1 in the order. 4-game series in Philadelphia, and in fact have beaten the Mets 5 straight times and trying to make it 6 tonight as the Mets come to bat at the bottom of the 10th. Tonight on Geico Sports Night after Nissan Postgame Live, we'll go in the Mets clubhouse for reaction. Yankees and Red Sox playing as well tonight. Red Sox are leading that game, and we'll take a look at the football for this week coming up tonight on Geico Sports Night. And now Brett Myers comes on to try and close it for the Phils.
Well, we talked about it in the pregame about how disheveled their starting staff was. Well, Myers was one of those that left the starting staff, not because he wasn't pitching well, but because of the injury to Tom Gordon. They needed a closer. He went out there, performed well until he got hurt, and now trying to put the game on ice here for the Phillies.
Well, Billy Wagner did his job tonight. Struck out the side of the 9th, but the Mets could not do anything against Tom Gordon. The Phillies scratch out a run in the 10th, and so now they've got to go after Myers to try and get Heilman off the hook. An unearned run against Heilman, the result of the dropped pop-up by DeFelice. And the Phillies able to use a sacrifice bunt and a sacrifice fly to plate a run. Now Millage, who has swung the bat very well tonight, lined out to third, double deep to center field, and then was drilled by Tom Gordon's by J.C. Romero's first pitch in the 8th inning. And the hard thrower Myers starts him off with a fastball for a strike.
I don't understand why Ryan Howard is playing in at first base and leaving that line wide open.
We have not seen Millage try and butt his way on.
That's over there on the right of your screen.
Broken bat grounder foul, and Millage will go back for a new stick.
Well, the old rule now, 7th inning on, 1-run lead. You always guard the lines, keep the double, don't let a double get by you on the infield. Now, that's a little bit too far away. Even though Miller doesn't go the other way, you got to get a little bit closer to that line. You never know.
0-2, and Millage grounds one out to Rollins. One down. So Millage retired, and now Sean Green will come up for the first time. Green came on to play first base in the 10th inning in a double switch. Sean has been swinging the bat very well of late, had 3 hits, including the game-winning RBI on Wednesday night here at Shea. And he takes ball 1 from Myers, against whom Sean is only 2 for 22 in his career. One of those 2 hits, a home run. Green, by the way, had the last walk-off home run for the Mets back in June against the Cardinals.
Well, interesting, Myers, Ronnie. Remember last time in Philly, the whole series he saved those games. He was throwing nothing but breaking ball. This time he's going after him with heaters.
Yeah, very interesting. We were surprised that the hard-throwing Myers was using that breaking ball over and over again.
Remember, he had pitched like 3 or 4 days in a row at that point.
I just know that when you've pitched a lot, breaking ball takes more out of your arm than a fastball.
2-1 to Green. And Sean swings and misses at the fastball. 2-2.
Well, this was a little over-anxious Sean there, probably wanting something to drive. Ahead in the count, 2-1. He swings at a bad pitch.
Green just taps it foul to keep the at-bat alive.
Well, he's doing one thing with the fastball, Ron. He's keeping it down and away.
Well, that's the recipe for late in the game when you're ahead by 1 run, as Luis Castillo was calling on the gods to get a run here for the Mets.
He'd love to have a turn at bat here in the 10th. He's the 4th man due up, so somebody's got to get on for him. 2-2 to Green. Up and away, and now Myers goes to a full count. Myers sometimes can lose his composure a little bit in tight spots.
Like hothead, maybe, is a way to call it. He's one of those real intense kind of competitors, and that can sometimes work against you.
He's had his problems on and off the field. 3-2, breaking ball, got him. Well, after throwing all fastballs, he strikes out Sean Green with a breaking ball, 2 down.
Well, this is tough to lay off, Ron.
I'm just nasty. You know, that's sometimes you get beat.
Well, after what,
good.
7 straight fastballs, that's a little difficult. 3-2. Wow.
So the Mets are down to their final out, trailing 3-2 in the 10th. Jose Reyes 1 for 4, had an infield hit his last time up in the 8th. And Reyes takes a strike. Reyes has done very well against Myers. 34 career at bats. He's hitting .353 against him. Fouls it away, and now Myers has the Mets down to their final strike. Mets took a 2-0 lead right with the first inning home run. Alou, a 4th inning RBI single, but they've been blanked ever since by Jamie Moyer in the Philly bullpen. Reyes swings and misses, and the ball game is over. Brett Myers pitches a 1-2-3-10th to save it for Tom Gordon. And the Phillies beat the Mets for the 6th straight time to keep their slim hopes alive in the National League East. They're now 5.5 games back. Mets have 16 games left to play.
Well, you have to commend their starting pitching, which has always been a struggle for the Phillies this year. Jamie Moyer was just outstanding over his 7 innings of work.
Take the opener of the weekend series in 10 innings, 3-2 to draw within 5.5 games of the Mets. Tomorrow we'll be on the CW11. Pedro Martinez on the mound. 1 o'clock on the CW11 for the middle game of the series. Coming up next, it's Nissan post-game live with Chris Cotter and Lee Mazzilli. Well, another terrific close battle between the Mets and the Phillies, and again it goes the Phillies' way. Tom Glavine was terrific for most of the night. Mets got some great defense behind him. David Wright hit his 29th home run in the first inning to get the Mets off to the fast start. Moises Alou might have taken a home run away from Jason Worth, but Chase Utley's 2-run homer tied the game, and it stayed tied until the bottom of the 10th. Lots of great plays on both sides, and the Phillies win it 3-2. Now for Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling, and Kevin Burkhardt, I'm Gary Cohen saying so long from Shea Stadium and sending you to the studio and Chris Cotter.